Now, I'm sure you've seen these pumpkins at the Dollar Tree. They have them pretty regularly, and they are fantastic for doing a little bit of DIY on. So first, to get started, I'm going to remove the embellishments. And I always save these leaves because I like to use them in other projects. And while I really like the pumpkin stem, I'm going to cut it off for now. So now I just have the pumpkin and no stem, and then I'm going to be using this tile from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach the tile to the pumpkin. I just have to move it around a bit to make sure I get the tile completely onto the pumpkin. Then I'm going to smooth everything down. And using a marker, I'm going to outline the shape of the pumpkin onto the tile. And the reason I'm doing this is because once I cut that tile down to size, the backing will actually come off. Yes, it's not attached to the tile itself, which is why I drew an outline on the tile so I can trace it with my scissors and cut it out. And once I have the pumpkin cut out and removed from the backing, then I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing. It's okay if it pulls off some of the picture part of the pumpkin. And then I'm going to attach the tile to the pumpkin. And I use some Dollar Tree wood glue. I love this glue. It's fantastic. And it works really well for projects like this. So I put a lot of the glue all over the pumpkin. Then I took the tile and made sure I had it lined up, or at least I thought I did, but it was upside down. So it's easily removed, and then I can go ahead and secure it onto the MDF cutout of the pumpkin. And a word of caution, you need to use some sort of glue like a wood glue or Elmer's glue. Do not use a hot glue gun because it will melt the tile. And once the tile had dried, then I came back with some burnt umber acrylic paint. I love burnt umber. This is probably my favorite brown acrylic paint. It doesn't matter if it's a chalk paint or an acrylic paint. Burnt umber is my favorite brown paint to use in all of my projects. So I just coated the entire tile with the burnt umber paint, and then I set it off to dry. Once it was dry, I came back with this folk art crackle medium. Now, this is going to make the next layer of paint look older. This is such a fun medium to use, especially if you want something to have a more vintage or older appearance. The crackle medium from folk art will really help you to get that old vintage look. And I decided to come back with this Deco Art burlap paint. And I love how you can see the difference in the tile. You can see the tile actually standing out. And I just put that second layer of paint all over the first layer. But I couldn't really see the crackling, so I came back with some folk art sheepskin paint, which is definitely lighter than both the burlap and the burnt umber paint. And I painted the entire pumpkin with the sheepskin paint. And once it had dried, this is the crackle coat. Isn't that pretty? Next, I came back with some Crafters Collection terracotta paint from Hobby Lobby, and I used a chip paint brush, and I lightly brushed that across the entire pumpkin. So I'm doing this because I want to see that tile pattern really pop out. And using contrasting colors will make those popped out sections stand out more. And because my pumpkin is a pumpkin, I wanted it to be orange. So I just had light coats of that terracotta paint on my paintbrush and just painted it all over the pumpkin. Now I'm going back to the pumpkin stem, and what's fun about removing it is you can decide which direction you want it to go. But I don't want this to have a flat appearance, so I'm going to be using this joint compound, and I'm going to apply a pretty heavy coat to what's going to be the outward or the portion of my pumpkin stem that is going to be visible. And once I had a nice heavy coat of it on the pumpkin stem, then I came back with a more stiff paintbrush, and this is a Dollar Tree paintbrush, and I just painted over the stem. This will give some different texture and lines to the pumpkin stem. Then I set it off to dry and got to work on my pumpkin because I need to make a bow. And I had this scarf that I got at a thrift store, and I really like that fringe edge, so I'm going to keep that for another project. But then I just cut off one long side of the scarf, probably about an inch wide, and I just made loops with this material. I did this because I didn't have any ribbon that was this color, and I was looking for more of a brown color because I want to try to keep this like browns and oranges and creams, more neutral colors for fall. So I just made little loops and then I attached them to the pumpkin. Next, I came back with some wired ribbon and I just twisted the ribbon to make it into a loop. So my bow is going to be very messy and have lots of different colors, but the wire ribbon is fun because you can just twist it and then you have a loop. And then I could just secure it to my bow with a little bit of hot glue. I did also add a couple of tails to this part of the ribbon, and I dovetailed or swallows-tailed the ends, however you like to say that. I basically cut off a triangle and on the ends of the ribbon to make it have those two little triangles at the very end. And I secured them in place with some hot glue as well. I also had this material from Dollar Tree, and I did the same thing, cutting strips about an inch wide. Then to make it have a little bit of a tattered edge, I just used a Cricut tool to peel away some of the fibers, and that will give it more of a frayed appearance. Then I made loops with those and attached those in between the other loops that are already on the pumpkin. So my bow is really starting to look like a bow, but I want to add some extra embellishments. So I'm taking some raffia, just single pieces of raffia, and I'm just laying them on top of all of those loops of my bow. It seems like it's the little details that you add to these projects that really make them stand out and make them unique. And once I was happy with this amount of raffia, then I did come back with my hot glue gun and just put a little bit of hot glue on top of the raffia pieces. That way I don't have to secure each individual one with the glue gun. Then I came back with these berries. I think they're called pip berries. It's either pip or pit. I'm not sure. Is it pip, P-I-P, or is it pit, P-I-T? Leave me a comment and let me know, are these pip or pit berries? I just cut little sections of the berries and secured them in place with some hot glue. And then I came back with some raffia that I had looped together and put that down towards the bottom, more towards the tails of my ribbon. And next I took some Dollar Tree ribbon and I cut off 6 pieces. They weren't exactly all the same. And I added a little bit of hot glue to the ends, and then I folded them over to make more loops. If you're not gifted at making bows this way to me is a lot of fun, and you can add a lot of different elements to your bows. You can also do the bows where you're just adding the strips of material, which I'll probably do in an upcoming project, but I wanted this pumpkin to have more of a poofy bow, and I didn't want it to be perfect, so this is why I'm making all of these separate loops. I also added in a few tails of that Dollar Tree ribbon. Then I came back with this orange, I guess, holiday style ribbon, and I did make a loopy bow using 6 loops, and then I just used some wire to tie it off so I can use the wire to secure the center of the bow. Then I came back with one more strip of that same ribbon and just wrapped it around the center to cover up the wire. Now the longer section of that ribbon that I'm using to cover the center of the bow or the wire, I'm going to keep that long because that's going to be one of the tails for my bow. Then I added a little bit more hot glue and I took another piece of ribbon and secured it to be the other tail for the bow. And then I secured that in the center of my messy bow. Isn't that pretty? But I did want to add one extra thing, so I have a bunch of buttons. So I just took a rustic looking button and secured that to the final bow. And I really love how this looks. The different layers of the bow and the different layers of all of the elements really make this look special. Next, I took a little piece of burlap ribbon and I secured that on the opposite side of the pumpkin. So it's on the opposite lower corner of the pumpkin, opposite of the bow. Then I took my stamps. Now, I really love these letter stamps. They're so nice because you can actually spell out words and you secure the letters together. So I will be stamping the entire word at one time. I don't have to worry about measuring the letters and making sure I have them exact. Just by putting these together, I can write out any word that I want to. So I just wrote out Hello Pumpkin on some scrap material. And then I used some pinking shears to size down each of the words. And then using some hot glue, I secured the fabric to the burlap. And to tie everything together and make it look cohesive, I used another button and I just glued that right to the side of the Hello Pumpkin. But again, I want to add some extra embellishments. So I put a little bit of jute on one end, and then I took some of those pip berries and put them over the tied up jute. Next, I came back with this ink and this ink dauber, and this is supposed to be brown, but it really looks orange next to the terracotta on the pumpkin. So I just went over the entire pumpkin, really paying attention to the edges, and used a little bit of ink. By this time, my pumpkin stem had completely dried, so I took different colors using burnt umber, raw sienna, I think raw umber was another one, and I just painted my pumpkin stem. I did this in different layers, and in the very last layer, I added some gold. Now, this is a really stiff paintbrush from Dollar Tree, and it works really great to just give more of a dry brush appearance to projects like this. Then I came back, and if there was any areas that were still showing that joint compound, I used a little bit of burnt umber acrylic paint. And once I gave that a few minutes to dry, then I came back with a little bit of hot glue and put that on the bottom of my stem and then secured it to my pumpkin. Once it was tacky, then I flipped it over and did a little bit more hot glue at the base to make sure that the pumpkin stem is going to stay in place. All that's left to do now is to attach a hanger. So I used a piece of jute twine and some fabric scraps, and using some hot glue, I just secured the jute twine to the back of the pumpkin, and then I put the material scraps over the jute twine to help keep it in place. And here is my pumpkin. Oh my goodness, look at how adorable this pumpkin is. I am so happy with how this turned out. And if you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click the bell notification so you'll get an alert every time I have a new video coming out. It's definitely the fall season, so I am so excited to bring you more projects like this. And I hope I've inspired you to spend a little time in your craft room and create some really fantastic decor pieces for your fall decorating or even gift giving this year.